to another episode of Literary Gladiators, the show where we discuss and debate literature in all of its forms. If it's written work, it's game. Let's meet the panel.
I'm Charlie.
Hi, I'm Austin.
Morgen.
And I'm Josh.
I'm also hungry.
Alrighty. Today we are going to be going over one of the most fascinating works that deals with the issue of race, and what better author to choose than Toni Morrison, who explores race and issues involving the black community. And that is how she has made her writing experience and career. We're going to be going over her short story, Recitatif, which I was introduced to in English 2. But specifically, we are going to go over one of the more evident moments, and that being the fact that both Roberta and Twila, you never found out which race either one of them was. You know that one of them is black and the other one is white. But specifically, what kind of importance do you feel that not mentioning their race has on this short story? And do you feel that this was a strategy of Morrison's?
Your Honor, I have the answer.
You, please.
So as I went like this, I probably just destroyed
for
your
it.
nostrils. I'm kidding. No, anyway, I think what was the question again?
Do you feel that, what do you think is the importance of not mentioning their race?
We're all equal. Black, white, blue, pink, orange, we're all equal. There's no reason to say, society has put labels on people, and a lot of you know this, a lot of you may not, but still, like I said, unfortunately, everybody has a label today. That person is black, that person is disabled in a wheelchair, they can't do stuff like that, and it's negative. So in this case, I think this was done and used effectively, I think, and that's just basically we're all equal. Love thy neighbor.
I think on one hand you have a good point.
Thank you.
The other hand, I think that you also have to explore our need to classify, categorize, and also our habit of creating stereotypes.
Well, it's stereotypes, yes, and
because she presents us with little details like whether or not they can read. There's
I think
their family situation.
Right.
Their jobs, their activities.
What did you assume? What were the races you guys assumed?
With Roberta, I was thinking white.
Yeah,
I think you think that based off of name and the fact that Twill is the narrator. But also,
I could be completely wrong.
Roberta couldn't read at all. Twilla was just, she just had trouble remembering.
Right.
So it was a learning deficiency.
And I think...
Oh, I'm sorry.
I think what Morrison does, which is really great, is by saying, hey, one of these people is white and one of them is black, but I'm not going to tell you who. She's doing a few things. One, and throughout the story too, I think she gives you clues to throw you off on either side.
Yeah.
Because you're like, oh, so I was totally white, so I was totally black, and then she's like, oh, and then this happened, and you're like, wait a second, I was wrong.
And all of your hard notes, I'm like, wait, is she one color?
Yeah. But I think part of why this story is great is that the point to me that I take as a white person is that you're not supposed to know. There's no definitive answer, I think. And I think what Toni Morrison is kind of questioning is, do these things inform, like saying Roberta can't read and Twila just has problems remembering, does that inform us of which one might be of a certain race because, let's say, black people more often actually do not get to learn to read, whereas white people do? Or are those stereotypes that we've created that we are now mapping onto these characters?
Yeah.
And I think she's making this question, is it because there's truth to these things that we believe and that's why she's giving them us so we can make these assumptions? Or is she doing that so we can think about the stereotypes we've mapped onto these people ourselves? And I think that's what the story is really, really great at. It's saying, yes, there are realities that exist for black communities and there are realities that exist for white communities, but what's reality and what is those stories that we have forced onto these communities?
Yeah, I think you're exactly right with that. I think that she has you put this list together, but then she tells you to scratch it all off because all you're doing is developing stereotypes, and she wants you to approach this with a clearer mind. There's an interview in here that was mentioned in my English 2 book, and I will read it off to you. The interviewer asked her if this strategy to not use racial codes was meant to confuse the reader. She says, and I quote, "Well, yes, but to provoke and enlighten. I did that as a lark. What was exciting was to be forced as a writer not to be lazy and rely on obvious codes. Soon as I say, black woman, I can rest on or provoke predictable responses. But if I leave it out, then I have to talk about her in a complicated way as a person."
That's interesting. Yeah, I think I agree with everything that everybody has said. She presents the story without identifying who's black and who's white, and it makes you realize that race is, just this kind of.
The only thing a race should be is who can get to the finish line first.
But yeah,
Or the cafe before they close.
it makes you realize that it's just a subjective understanding of what people look like, and it doesn't mean anything. And we kind of like what you said, we need to organize things. We need to put people into compartments, and this challenges that thing that we have in our brains.
But at the same time, I think that by her saying one of these person is white and one of these people is black, it's her way of recognizing that, yes, race should not, be the be all end all.
But it does exist.
But that it does exist and that it is important.
Yeah, I'm not trying to make the argument.
No, no.
Yeah, I'm not. I hate the argument that like race isn't real, because it's not like scientifically. I feel like we can say that it's like we're all just like people who have like look a little different, but socially it's very real. So I don't want to say that it's not real, because like obviously it's very real and valid, and it influences people's lives in dramatic and important ways.
And it's important because even though we do use labels to oppress, labels also give a sense of community. And we live in a world where, I'm a member of the LGBTQ community, and I'm so proud of my community. And yes, there's things that I deal with that stink, but when people say, "Oh, you're just the same as everybody else," my gut reaction is, no, I am different. And I have this very specific culture that my community has created. And I feel like oftentimes when we say, "Oh, well, black people and white people are really just the same," it's that, yes, we're the same because we're people and that we should all have equal opportunity, but it's reductivist because, no, we're not the same. And I don't want to erase black culture, which is a real thing, and all my black friends and black people across the world take pride in it, black girls take pride in being magical, and that's really, really awesome and really important. So I think it's her way of kind of saying, yes, we have created these ideas and that we have created these stereotypes, or some might be based in, reality of what is more likely to happen depending on what race you may be in, or where you live, or what class you're part of, et cetera, et cetera. But she's also saying that these things are important because they shape identity and they shape communities and they shape culture.
It's interesting that both the characters find their mothers in Maggie, and they both take out their aggression on Maggie, and they grow up and they feel guilty about it.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I think that's usually you take your aggression out on those that you love and
Mhm.
admire, the ones that you would least want to do that to.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
there's always
Because you have that sense that they're still going to be there. If you did it to someone less familiar, they can easily walk away,
also it's,
disappear.
yeah, the whipping post, you know, like you come home, and this is, you know, this is how it's gone through the history of, you know, we could say mankind, you know, the boss yells at the worker, and the worker, of course, goes home, which is, I know, right now I'm speaking 1950s fashion, but still, you know, it's still prevalent in today's society. Boss screams at the as a worker. I don't know what that would translate to, but and then daddy goes home, and then the wife has to have that meal on the table, or if it's not there, honey, I'm just it's supposed, you know, and then the husband takes it out on the wife, then the wife takes it out on the kid, and what does the kid do? He kicks the cat. In my case, that never happened because I have excellent parents and I love my mom and dad. And
Yeah.
I'm shouting out to them, Mom, Dad, I love you.
I also think that
Not that they're gonna watch this.
their relationship with Maggie, both of them, kind of shows this universal human condition, regardless of your background or your culture or your race. You know.
Mhm.
Does anybody have any final thoughts that they?
I'll race you to the Dunkin' Donuts. Da-da-da.
Check out Toni Morrison stuff.
Yeah.
Toni Morrison's a great writer, and you know, I don't believe she ever labeled herself with any labels, but many people have said that she's, you know, a womanist or different types of, you know, social equality.
She's known most for her novels, and a lot of them have to do with struggles of being black and in most cases female.
Yeah.
So,
She's great. So
Nobel
hopefully-
Prize winner too. She
Yeah. Read this.
in literature. that
Read
is.
other things she's written. I just read Beloved, and it was amazing. So.
Short story, fast read, and you know, very, very interesting. And I mean, as you said, but still, it was very enlightening.
Yeah,
as
it
well.
challenges
Yeah.
your conceptions.
My brain started to go.
It's in a great
Stop
deal
it,
of collections as well.
Yeah.
Said that much.
Exactly.
Already done. Be sure to join us next time for another episode of Very Gladiators. For now, keep reading.